When we think about the Mahabharata, our minds immediately go to these incredible warriors and massive epic battles. But what if I told you the single most powerful weapon in that whole war wasn't a bow or a mace or a sword, but a simple pair of dice? That's right. Today, we're diving into the story of the mastermind, Shakuni, and the incredible secret behind his infamous game. This was never, ever just a game of chance, being played for fun in some royal court. No, make no mistake about it, this was a weapon. It was wielded with a kind of magic so powerful it could bring an entire dynasty, a whole empire, to its knees. And that is the big question, isn't it? What was the secret? Was it some kind of supernatural power? A really clever trick? Or was it something else entirely? Well, let's find out together. Okay, so to really get to the bottom of the secret, we have to start with the game itself. And look, this was no ordinary, friendly game. This was the single event that lit the fuse for one of the most destructive and epic wars in history. This is the key thing you have to understand. This was never about winning or losing some money or a kingdom in a simple game. For Shakuni, every single roll of those dice was a calculated strike. It was a strategic move in a much, much bigger war he was waging. Shakuni basically turned this dice game into what we can call a dangerous political strategy. The goal here wasn't just to win their stuff. It was to systematically dismantle his opponents, the Pandavas. I'm talking their reputation, their honor, their wealth, and their entire future. It was a complete psychological and political takedown, piece by piece. And that brings us to the man himself. You see, Shakuni wasn't just a good gambler. Oh no, he was a master strategist. He combined this really unique set of skills that made him absolutely lethal at the gaming table. Let's kind of break down his winning formula. First up, and this might surprise you, was mathematics. He wasn't just rolling the dice and praying for a good number. He was a master of probability, of calculation. Every single throw was designed to influence the outcome. He turned what looked like random chance into a predictable science. Next, he blended all that math with some serious political savvy. Shakuni knew exactly what to say and when to say it. He knew how to taunt, how to provoke, how to manipulate the egos of everyone in that room. He expertly used the Pandavas' own code of honor against them, knowing they were basically duty-bound to accept his challenges, which just pushed them deeper and deeper into his trap. And finally, the glue that held it all together was pure, brilliant deception. His incredible skill was so masterfully hidden behind this mask of a simple game that nobody saw the true nature of his attack until it was way, way too late. So when you put all that together, you see he became so much more than a gambler. He was the architect of the Kauravas' entire political strategy. He was their most influential advisor. And, without a doubt, he was the Pandavas' single most dangerous opponent. Which brings us back to that core question. What was the real secret that made his dice unstoppable? Was it actually magic, or was it something a bit more real? So we've really got two possibilities on the table here. On one hand, was he channeling some dark, supernatural force to literally bend the rules of reality and make the dice do whatever he wanted? Or, on the other hand, was this an art? A highly developed and secret skill that was so good it just looked like magic to everybody else. And the answer, honestly, is fascinating. Shakuni's power wasn't a one-off trick or some kind of dark spell. It was a secret art of strategy and gambling, a kind of hidden knowledge that had been passed down through generations of his family. He inherited this secret, and then he mastered it, sharpening it until it became his ultimate weapon. Now that we know the secret wasn't magic, but a mastered art of deception, we can really see the straight line from this one event to the beginning of the entire Mahabharata war. I mean, just look at this chain reaction. It all starts with the dice game, right? The Pandavas lose everything they have. That leads directly to their public humiliation, a completely unforgivable insult in front of the entire royal court. That act forces them into the exile, where for years the seeds of revenge are just growing. And from there, the Great War isn't just a possibility anymore. It's an absolute certainty. When you get right down to it, this single game did way more than just cause a family feud. It fundamentally shook the throne of the entire kingdom and completely rewrote the destiny of the Pandavas. So what's the big takeaway from all of this? Well, Shakuni's game left behind a powerful and kind of unsettling legacy about the true nature of conflict and strategy. Through his deception, an immortal story was written, but it's a story that really forces us to look at history from a totally new perspective. It shows us that the deadliest battles aren't always fought on a battlefield, but sometimes across the game board. And that leaves us with one final big question to think about. The story of Shakuni's dice really forces us to ask, in the grand scheme of things, what is truly the greater weapon? The sword or the mind?